Broadcasting around the world on the World Wide Web.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Oh yeah. Broadcasting live from the Josie Network studios in downtown Medina, Tennessee. It's that time of week again. It's time for the Josie Show. Bringing you the most exciting music news and guests from around the world. Right here on the Josie Show. Please make welcome the beautiful, the talented, the lovely, America's radio sweetheart, Mrs. Josie Asantino Boone.
Everyone, and welcome to the Josie Show. We have a special show for you all in honor of Memorial Day. We have Michael Peterson joining me, so I hope you enjoy this interview. Please welcome to the Josie Show, my special guest, Michael Peterson. Hello.
Hello, Josie. How are you doing?
Oh, I am doing wonderful. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's been a great day today.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you so much for joining me. I've been looking forward to this.
Me too. It's really a pleasure. I've been following you online for years and really proud of you for all you've accomplished.
Thank you. I appreciate that as well. And that means a lot coming from you because I think the world of you as a singer, a songwriter. So you teamed up with Star Vista Music to bring two of your beloved albums to fans in a whole new way. So can you share this news with my listeners?
Absolutely. I made a number of albums over the last 15 years that were never distributed or commercially released. You could buy them at my shows. So when I signed this new deal with Star Vista, they said, well, what do you have that people haven't heard? And so as we went through things, these were two of the albums that they said, wow, we love these. People should hear these records. So, essentially, they're brand new albums if you've never heard them before.
Right.
And one is an album that's focused more on military families and veterans, patriotic themes. And the other is an album that I created with the New Holland Corporation, the tractor folks, to raise money for FFA. So these were never broadly distributed. So we're bringing them this Memorial Day weekend, especially with the We Are Veterans album and the song The Old Army Hat, which is very much appropriate for Memorial Day weekend. So we are just excited to share this music with people for the first time.
Oh, yes. And of course, these albums are Down on the Farm and We Are Veterans. And they're out now, actually. So make sure you check out these albums everywhere digitally that you stream your music today. And I think it'll be so wonderful that a new generation of fans will be able to access your music now as well.
Well, I am as well. And, a lot of people have said over the years, how can I get a copy? Well, now it's everywhere in the world.
Exactly. I think that's so wonderful. And, I wanted to start with your album, Down on the Farm. What can listeners expect from this album?
They're going to hear something that sounds like 90s country. If you love 90s country, that's the spirit in which this whole thing was produced. It's got a lot of fun, upbeat songs, some sassy songs, some songs that'll bring a tear to your eye, some songs that'll make you laugh. So it's just a great variety of wonderful songs.
Yes, it's such a great variety for everybody, whatever mood you may be in. That's what I love about you and your songwriting. And, what's wonderful with these collection of songs is a lot of these songs people are going to be able to hear for the first time. But how have you been enjoying performing these songs live? Is there one particularly that is a real crowd pleaser?
On the Down on the Farm album, there's a song, there's a live version that was performed at the Bluebird of a song called From the Grave to the Cradle. Mm-hmm. That's a song that every time I play it, it's just people just love that song. There's another song on there called The Perfect Weekend, which is just a sassy breakup song. And tell me we don't always need one of those around. Those are two songs in particular. There's a great song on there called What Should I Do With My Life, which I think speaks to so many of our lives at certain moments when we just go, wow, what do I do now?
Right. I love that. And then your album, We Are Veterans. Can you tell us about your inspiration behind this album and the collection of songs on this one?
Sure. So I had the privilege over about a 9 to 10 year period of performing over 500 shows for servicemen and women deployed, as well as veterans and military families.
Hmm.
And I found over, about halfway through that journey, I found that there was a body of work of those songs that people said they liked, that were their favorites. And I was getting more requests than I could fulfill. And I thought, well, I should put those favorite songs on an album so that the album can be there even if I can't. So that's
Right.
why I put that album together. And there's some incredible songs on there, like The Old Army Hat, which is a great
Hmm.
story, a true story, really, about a World War II veteran who came home from the war. And it follows his journey from coming home from World War II to him being an old man at the World War II memorial and his auspicious meeting with a young boy, and something amazing that happens with a hat. There's just songs on there that speak right to the heart of service and
Hmm.
patriotism. So it's an album full of hand-picked favorites by the veterans and the service members themselves, and I just know that it's going to hit the mark.
Oh, yes. I love it. Check it out, everybody. And I want to talk a little bit about your songwriting. When you're ready to put, pen to paper, where do you draw from when it comes to songwriting? Where do you begin? How do you begin?
Well, I think the biggest thing is first of all, you have to have the desire.
Hmm.
Because if you're a young songwriter, you don't get a lot of encouragement.
Right.
And if you aren't having some desire that's inside of you that makes you want to do it in spite of the lack of encouragement. I used to say that when I first started writing songs, only my friends liked the songs, and they had to, or the beer stayed in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
So you start young and you have to have a lot of desire, and it's something that you do because you love to do it. And I think along the way, one of the smartest things that I was able to do was I developed the habit of always looking and listening for potential song ideas.
Hmm.
And then you gather those song ideas in a book or a hard drive somewhere. And that way, when you show up to write a song, you don't have to hope that lightning strikes you and you're inspired. You actually have collected ideas along the way that have inspired you. So you always have inspiration to pull from. And I think that's been one of the real keys, is you're never without inspiration because you're always looking for it. And that's a habit you can nurture and develop that will serve you well if you're a songwriter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love that. And you do a very fine job of that too, my friend.
Well,
I
thank
have
you.
to say, you're very, very welcome. And for fans who have followed your career since the beginning, is there one song that you feel has really kind of stood the test of time, that even to this day, people, when they come up to you, that's the one that they tell you they love the most?
The one that surprises me the most, there's been
Yeah,
several songs, Drinks We're Still Alive, From Here to Eternity, are songs that have been fan favorites. But the
right.
one that the one that seems to run the deepest for most people that will take the time to say something to me is a song that I wrote called "You Know You're in Trouble When the Bartender Cries."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's a song that has meant a lot to a lot of people,
Yeah.
people in recovery or people that are living with someone that's in recovery. So that's been a song that has endured, and I think will endure for years to come.
Oh, I definitely believe so. I think it's so wonderful how you can touch people with music, and I'm sure you've heard a lot of great stories from fans who've come up to you and said, how this song has touched them, and um, I think that's just so wonderful, as a songwriter to hear those kind of stories. I'm sure you have many.
Well, thank you. Over the years, I've had, this is sort of a funny thing I'm about to say, but there's been a lot of people that have written and thanked me for the song From Here to Eternity because they got married to it. And of course,
Yeah.
it's been several years since that song was a big hit. And now I say, sort of with tongue in cheek, a number of those people are now writing me asking me if I have a good divorce song.
Yeah.
So I tell them from when you're in trouble when the bartender cries.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
those should have been an A and B side on a 45.
Right? It would have been too nowadays. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That is so funny. I love that. And, while perusing your website, I found out about this really cool concert series that you do, Wave on Old Glory, Wave On, which
Yeah.
features songs from your We Are Veterans album and so much more.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
It's an evening that is really to honor
Hmm.
and to recognize the contributions of military family members, military service members, and veterans. And then goes along with that hand in hand is my wife served in the Army for 30 years, and she
Oh,
was at the Pentagon on 9/11, was severely wounded with
oh,
post-traumatic stress. And then
hmm,
she came out of that, healed herself, and then it trained herself to how to help other people get over post-traumatic stress. So when we do these events, my wife will also do a seminar for
mm,
people about the sort of beginning stages of how do you deal with post-traumatic stress in a non-pharmaceutical way. So it ends up being an evening that's a combination of a seminar my wife does,
yeah,
a night of inspiring patriotic music, and it ends up just being an event that's for first responders as well as veterans. And it's just
oh,
been really powerful and empowering. And it's not just a concert where you come to a
yeah.
concert and come to hear some music. It's actually an event and an experience that can really change lives.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And for those who maybe have a venue or want to maybe help out in any kind of way with this, is there a great way for them to contact you or find out more information about this series?
Absolutely. They can just contact my manager, whose name is Pat Melfi. So his email address is Pat capital MELF as in Frank I. So pat.melfi at gmail.com.
Perfect. I love that because I feel like this needs to be everywhere. I love that how you and your wife have created something so powerful that could be helpful and healing to not only, I'm sure, your wife, but also to those out there who have dealt with the same thing. So I think that's
Yeah.
amazing. Hmm.
It's something that we know a lot more about now than we did, let's say, 10 years ago, but
Sure.
still, like there's a great term that most people have never heard. It's a term, everybody's heard post-traumatic stress,
Hmm.
but many people have never heard the term post-traumatic growth,
Right.
right? And
Right.
that is a new diagnosis that many people that have post-traumatic stress are being re-diagnosed with post-traumatic growth because post-traumatic stress
Mm.
isn't a permanent condition. It's something that the plasticity of your brain allows you to morph into something that's fresh and new and empowering. And that's part of the work that my wife does.
I love that. You're right. That's not spoken about enough, nearly
Yeah.
enough. Wow. That's incredible.
Well,
Incredible
we
work.
talk about post-traumatic stress and it's just such a
Yeah.
dark topic. But
Right.
there's a bright light in that. It's
There
this
is.
thing called post-traumatic growth.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I love that. I love that. And your manager, Pat Melfi, who we think the world of, and he's actually going to
Oh.
be a special guest on an upcoming Josie show.
Oh,
Uh,
that's great.
yes, yes. So I wanted to ask, how did you all meet and start working together? I hear that you guys are going to be working together, maybe like publishing or.
Well, yeah, so
Mhm.
Pat and I met through a mutual friend, Stan
Yeah.
Moress.
Hmm.
Stan managed a number of people, including Gloria Estefan, the Miami Sound Machine,
Hmm.
Roger Miller, a lot of this classic great artists that KT Oslin, Eddie Rabbitt. He was a classic great American music manager, and
Yes.
he and I were good friends, and he was close friends with Ken Cragen and with Pat. And so after Stan, God rest his soul, after he passed
Hmm.
away, we were sort of connected in the same social network. And so we met and began to talk and just realized that we had so much in common. And one of the biggest things we had in common was we're both at a stage in our life where it's not about the money anymore. It's not
Hmm.
about trying to make a name for yourself. It's just about how can we make a difference in the world? How can we use our talents to make the world a better place? And so when we realized that we both shared that in common, we decided it would be fun. Maybe if the two of us worked together, we could accomplish more together than we could apart. And then
Yeah.
also Pat's a songwriter and I'm a
Hmm.
songwriter. And so we've decided to start a publishing company together. So we're working as partners as well as he's my manager.
This is a great team. I'm liking this. I'm
Yeah,
really
well,
liking this.
he had wonderful things to say about you, and
Oh.
uh, and I'm just excited you guys are going to reconnect with an interview. That would be great.
Yes. Oh, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. And I hope everyone checks out both of these albums, Down on the Farm and We Are Veterans. And before we go, can you please give out your website and also where they can find you on social networking sites as well?
Sure, you can find me at Michael Peterson, Peterson. So michaelpetersonmusic.com. So super simple. My name and the word music.com. And then you can find me on all social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on X,
Yeah.
all of those platforms. So
You are. You are. You're
YouTube.
everywhere. Yes,
Well,
me too.
it's trying to find ways to connect with people. That's what it really is.
Exactly. It really is. And with social media it makes it so much easier to really connect with more
Yeah.
people.
Hey,
Yeah.
and I want to recognize you and thank you for all you've done for independent artists.
Oh,
I just want to appreciate you for that. And I know we've never met before until now, but I've been
oh.
following you and I've been really cheering for you and championing the work that you do. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And what's funny is it works both ways because my mom is actually a big fan. And so I've heard your music growing up. So
Oh,
it's
that's
kind of
fun.
yeah, so it's kind of one of those funny things. So this is very, very cool for me. So thank you so much
Uh,
for being so kind and talking to me. Thank you.
well, I love it. And I hope you enjoy this weekend and thank you for all the work you're doing. And I hope we get to meet again.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. And we definitely will. I'd love to meet you in person very, very soon. But yeah, thank you.
Okay. God bless.
God bless Michael Peterson, everyone. Take care now, my friend. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye. I want to thank Michael Peterson for joining me today. And thank you all so much for tuning in. And I hope you all have a wonderful and safe rest of your Memorial Day. See you all next time. Bye bye.